Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Josie's Point of View, where we focus on human interest stories from the Carolinas and beyond. Today's Sunday, and it's October the 17th, 2021. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're new to my channel, I'd like to extend to you a warm welcome. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you find the information on this channel to be informative, and if you're a returning viewer, by all means, thank you for coming back. I always say that here on the YouTube street, the tide changes so frequently, so you need to acknowledge where your support is coming from, and I want to tell you in advance that I sincerely thank you for your support. Feel free to like and to share this video, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. And our story today comes out of the Marine Corps base here at Camp Lejeune in North Carolina. Take a look at the headline. And it reads, Camp Lejeune Marine dies in a training accident. I'll provide you with a summary here, and as always, I'll place links to a few of the full articles in the description box. We learned a few days ago that a Marine stationed at Camp Lejeune here in North Carolina was killed in a training accident in California, and apparently the training accident occurred earlier this month. I decided to speak out on this case because the facts as presented just does not make any sense. I was totally confused by what I was reading, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. And I think at some point it's important that military bases do not suppress the truth, especially while the relatives of the deceased are desperately searching for answers. Now, according to the release of information posted on the Marine Times Facebook page, the accident happened on October the 3rd at the Marine Corps Air Ground Combat Center in Twentynine Palms, California. And based on information the family gave in an interview, and also what I saw in several news articles, the Marine was shot in the chest during a dry fire rehearsal, and for reasons that are unclear, he was not wearing any type of protective gear at the time. And so as not to confuse any of my readers, I want to take a few minutes to define what we mean by dry fire exercise. This is when you're able to practice and become familiar with the use of a firearm, but the key here is there's no ammunition involved. But we'll get back to that in a few minutes. The deceased Marine was identified as Lance Corporal Jonathan Barnett, age 24, a native of Chatsburg, Georgia, and he was currently living in Jacksonville, North Carolina, because, as I already mentioned, he was stationed at Camp Lejeune at the Marine Corps base here. It was reported that he was participating in a 4-week training program at that base in California when this accident occurred. Lance Corporal Barnett was married, and his wife Samantha is currently pregnant with their second child. According to information provided by the Marine Times, he enlisted in the Marines in 2018 and graduated from infantry school in 2020. At the time of his death, he was part of the 2nd Marine Kilo Company, 3rd Platoon, where he was assigned as an infantry rifleman. Documents from the Marines that were provided to Lance Corporal Barnett's family says he was shot in the chest during a dry fire rehearsal, and for some reason he was not wearing any protective gear. I saw his mom on television, and it really broke my heart. In fact, I feel so sad for the entire family. The mom said that there was about 1 hour and 13 minutes that are unexplained, and she's left wondering what happened during that time. And I take that to say, based on the information they gave her, this was the unexplained time between when it was reported that he was shot and the time he was pronounced dead. And I think this is perfectly understandable for her wanting to know what happened. Did he have last words? Did they try to revive him? Was he administered last rites? And it really broke my heart, because the family should not have to be dealing with all this turmoil. They should tell them this up front. The mom also spoke about what she described as the insensitivity of the Marine Corps. Speaking of her son, she said, "My kid was a human being. He was someone to me, and it seems as if Marines are saying he was just another Marine." And that's where the insensitivity comes in. This is not just everybody that you put in a ball or in a group. This was her child, and you need to focus on her, and you need to be able to answer her question. She should have been given the information up front, and she needed to know what happened between those critical moments. We all know based on the report that he died at the scene. So what happened between the time he was shot and the time that he was pronounced dead? And I know they were busy creating a paper trail. Why couldn't someone tell that woman that information? So she's left out there devastated and feeling a sense of loss and wondering whether or not there was last rites, which obviously is something that was important to her and her family. And his wife is also facing her own devastations. They were married earlier this year, so they haven't even been married for a year. And she's left with a young child, as well as an unborn son, who she must now raise without a father. If there's anything to bring some type of smile on their faces, is that she was able to find out the gender of her baby last week, and she realized she was having a son, and she revealed a few days ago that she had already decided to name him after his father. So let's us return back to the topic of dry fire exercise. And again, the definition, it emphasizes familiarization with your firearm, but without the use of ammunition. So here are my questions. If this was supposed to be an exercise that did not have any ammunition, can somebody please tell me, why is Lance Corporal Barnett, why was he shot in the chest and why is he dead? Why do we have another mother without her son and a young pregnant wife without her husband and her children with no father? How can this be an accident? Where were the ammunition in the first place? Where was the ammunition? Who was supposed to be checking to make sure all the weapons were clear, that there were no rounds in those weapons? And why the heck was he not wearing any protective gear? But most of all, just who is going to be held accountable and responsible? We need a thorough investigation with full disclosure, and the findings should be released. This family should not have to hear the circumstances surrounding the death of their loved one from the media. Marine leadership, it's your job to let them know. They shouldn't have to be hearing more from what's printed in the newspaper than what you're telling them. Now, there was one newspaper that sums it up and said, he was shot in the chest and he died instantly. Another said a U.S. Marine was killed in a highly preventable training accident, leaving his pregnant wife a widow and his children without a father. And that sums it up nicely. But there is another aspect I want to bring up. As they await the body to be released by the Marine Corps, there's a GoFundMe account set up to assist the family. I did take a few minutes to look at his obituary, and it states that funeral plans are pending, and that's because the Marine Corps has not yet released his body to his family, so they have to keep their plans on hold for a bit longer. And despite the questions we may have, one thing is clear. His mission on this earth is now complete, and we send words of comfort to his family and friends. And so, Marine Lance Corporal Jonathan Franklin Barnett, rest well, my friend, and thank you for your service. And that's all I have for you right now. Feel free to leave me a comment below and let me know what you think about this video. And by all means, feel free to like it and to share it. And if you haven't done so already, I want to invite you to subscribe to my channel by clicking on that red subscribe button. It's on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. And if you click on this notification bell right here, you'll be the first to know whenever a new video is uploaded. I thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.